Hello, Super Greyscale here, and it's time to start up a brand new project. Welcome to Castlevania Portrait of a Ruin. Now, we're gonna play the opening cutscene like we did with Dawn of Sorrow. And after that's been played, I will explain why you're seeing this and not part 90 of Final Fantasy XIV. So, the elephant in the room. Why are you seeing this and not part 90 of 14? And to be completely honest, I'm suffering a bit of a burnout on 14. I have been playing the new expansion ever since early access. And currently the servers are so damn full that it takes a lot longer than usual to get in, which, no big deal because I'm not like recording my login. But it's still a bit much to have to sit there and wait for a moment before you get the chance to continue playing. Plus, the stuff coming up that we have to do for like the post game. Any raid or dungeon, like most of the dungeons we can do fine with like AI, but there are 3 raids I'm thinking about in particular, plus a triple dungeon raid. I believe that's still mandatory. Um, and all of those require actual players. And anyone keeping up with Final Fantasy XIV knows that there is still kind of, sort of, maybe a healer strike going on. Because the healers are butthurt that, if they're in a good party, they are not healing at all. And like most characters have a self-heal. Like some of the DPSs have Bloodthirst. Uh, the warrior can literally heal themselves. Dark Knight has a self heal. Even Paladin has one, and I think Gunbreaker as well has one. And like I understand, your whole thing is healing, but that still doesn't mean that protesting like that is going to make Yoshi P and his team change how the hell you play. Like you're ruining it for players who are just starting out. And I don't really feel like I want to sit in a queue for 50 billion years because Miss Pretty White Mage doesn't want to play Ifrit Hard, for instance, or the Crystal Tower series because they don't get to do their job if they're with a good party. So I figured I will eventually get back to 14. Like, I'm thinking about recording a couple of videos for it next week, and on my own time, whenever I essentially feel like it, I will sit down, record, and then edit that, and we'll see when I put them out. Uh, but I figure mostly for now, we're going to be focusing on a new Castlevania adventure for us, which is going to be Portrait of Ruin, the second DS game. It is definitely a step up from uh, Dawn, but Dawn is still my favorite one. And we get to edit a little emblem here. We can take a template if we want to, or any of the colors. Yeah, let's just go for this template here. And then click OK. 1944. The world is in chaos. The Second World War has claimed millions of lives, leveled cities, destroyed nations. The souls of the war's dead blanket the planet, lost, hurt, and angry. Their anguish summons an accursed castle of legend. It has appeared many times throughout history, bringing with it evil and darkness. The castle of Dracula, the Lord of Evil. It arrives in a man's darkest hour to push us over the brink into ruin. So yeah, this takes place during the Second World War. And it's during the part of the Castlevania timeline where the Belmont family is missing and thus other people have to pick up the slack. Such as the main hero of this game, the Morris clan, or in Order of Ecclesia where you have an entire order, or in some of the other games like Reinhard Schneider, who is a descendant of the Belmont clan, but not quite canon. You also have people like Nathan Graves in Circle. You know, list goes on. So we have a priest here, and here we have our two leads. That whip! Venom, there's no mistake in it. You're Jonathan Morris. Good eye. And you are? Ah, forgive me. I am Vincent Thorin. By the order of the church, I've been awaiting you. To think that the master of the legendary vampire killer would come here, a blessing indeed. Too bad he can't actually use it. Charlotte, can't you pretend to play along for once? Well, that's the truth, isn't it? You can't lie to a priest. What? Are you suggesting that whip is a fake then? It's true. I can't use the vampire killer. This whip wasn't actually passed down through my family. You've heard of the Belmont family, haven't you? Why, of course I have. They've used the whip for generations to destroy Dracula. And that family is related to the Morris family by blood. Been doing your research, huh? Unfortunately, the fact is, we're not the true successors. No problem, though. I've won every battle till now without the whip. Not one loss. Luckily, you have me with you. Yes, I was wondering about that. And you are? Well, excuse me. If you're from the church, then remember this. I'm Charlotte Aulin. Charlotte? I've heard that name before. Charlotte. Oh! You must be the great magician everyone's been talking about. Great, you say? Unbelievable. To think that she's a mere child. Oh, well, I mean, such a lovely young lady. You heard that, Jonathan? He called me lovely. So anyway, Vincent, you had some business with me? Oh, yes, I do. I've been ordered to assist you in your quest. I've brought potions with me, but, well, what? It's a matter of economics. You want us to pay you, right? Well, if you insist. Sure, no problem. I think we can take care of that. I couldn't care less. But more importantly, the castle. Is that really Dracula's castle? No one has seen Dracula thus far. However, the church insists that it's indeed Dracula's castle. No doubt about it. This castle is pulsing with dark, magical power. I can't imagine it's anything but the castle of Lord Dracula that I studied in the books. Sounds like fun. Come on, better get going then, Charlotte. Right with you. Be careful! I'll search for a safe place. I'll meet you inside. Godspeed. So, Jonathan Morris here is indeed the master of the vampire killer whip, the legendary whip wielded by the Belmont family. However, he can't use the whip. I wouldn't say this whip is a fake, though. I feel like that's a bit of a mistranslation. The thing is, Jonathan never learned how to use the whip. So he's using the vampire killer, but he is using it it's not as its full power. Like, it's still sealed. But yeah, welcome to the entrance. And just like in Dawn of Sorrow, if you press select, your other screen will change from a status screen to the map. We're gonna mostly keep it on the map. We have an ability cube here. This gives us the ability to change our main character, because this game features two playable protagonists. Jonathan and Charlotte. Both excel in different things. Jonathan is more focused on combat, as you will see. Stats-wise, if I can... So yeah, as you can see with the stats here, he has a 5 in defense, meanwhile Charlotte has a 2, even though they have the same armor. Of course, armor will be different between the characters, but like I said, Charlotte is not that defensive, and her main melee attack is not going to be the best. However, she is mostly going to excel at special things like magic. And we have a call cube here. Can't get the bridge down. I can't get the bridge to open on my own. Maybe if there were two of us. So we can press A to call our partner, and we bring down the entire bridge. Now, if you have your partner out with you, they take damage. The magic bar, the green bar in the upper left, will be the thing to drain instead. Meanwhile, the red one will only drain if you're the one to take the damage. We have our first enemy here. These are zombies. Of course, your AI companion will rush up to help you. One cool thing is that you can see what type of damage you deal with your weapon on the status screen. We can see here that the vampire killer is indeed like a whip. Meanwhile, Charlotte's book deals slashing damage and holy damage. And that lets us go into the damage part below that on the zombie, as you can see there. They are listing slashing, fire, darkness, light, and stone, or petrify. Anything that is red means that the enemy is vulnerable to that. Meanwhile, if it's blue, they're kind of resisting it. If it's not showing up, then it doesn't do anything special. Every enemy has 2 drops, and you don't need to worry about any soul drop, as neither of these two have the power of dominance. They are not Soma Cruz. And even though Jonathan is indeed using a whip right now, Jonathan is able to equip more items than that. Speaking of items, we just get the Tome of War here, but as you can see, it's not on Jonathan's side, or the Tome of Arms. It's on Charlotte's side. Charlotte is mostly going to be using books, and they're magical tomes, such as the Tome of Arms series, or other books we will see later down the line. Jonathan will be able to be armed to the teeth with different types of whips and weapons. So as you can see, we do more damage with the short sword, not just because it deals more damage, but the zombies are weak to slashing. This is a save room. We can save our progress at these, and should we die, this is where we will respawn. Of course, save places also fully restore your health and magic. So 3 hits will get through the pillars here. However, we're not alone. We have a behemoth right here. So, gotta rush on through. One neat thing is that your attack animation will be cancelled if you're in the middle of it when you hit the ground, should you do an aerial attack. It can be a nice way to get some extra damage in on enemies or to get through places like this. Of course, the whip can be useful as well. This symbol means a special sub-weapon or a hunter's sub-weapon for Jonathan. We have the knives here. Just the regular knives from classic Castlevania. The cool thing, however, if we look at the items we have collected thus far, no wait, it's the skills, my bad. We can see here that every skill can be mastered. There are regular skills that are for both of them. These blue ones are for Charlotte and the red ones are for Jonathan. And they are increased with use, plus you need to, you know, hit the opponent with them. You know, we can't just throw 300 knives and hope to have them reach mastery. We have skeletons here. As we can see, they are weak to hammer or bludgeoning, whip attacks, fire and light, but they are resistant to dark. So as you can see, 8 damage with the short sword. However, if we switch over to the vampire killer, it still deals 6 damage, but it's going to be probably a lot better to focus on hitting them with weaknesses and stuff like that. We have a weight cube here. If we hold down and press A, we will bring out our partner. Now keep in mind, depending on which character pushes, they push at different speeds. Jonathan pushes the fastest. So if we switch over to Charlotte, we can actually get up here. And it's quite interesting that we went for Charlotte with this, because we have our first spell here, Raging Fire. So, by just holding up and pressing the attack button once, we fire a normal version of the spell. And yeah, they have their own taunts if you hold up long enough. As you can see, it doesn't take that much MP. However, if you hold it until this meter glows and then release it, it uses the same amount of MP, but it deals more damage. However, you're gonna be a sitting duck for a while. Some of these spells are also gonna cost a lot more to use. However, being magic, it really hurts the enemy. However, as you can see, Charlotte also takes a lot more damage. So do keep that in mind. So yeah, because we killed the skeleton earlier with the knives, we have a mastery of 1 out of 300. Raging Fire, on the other hand, has no mastery. Spells cannot be mastered. They are fully mastered more or less when you get them. So dodge this axe armor the best we can. Take an axe in the back, because of course we would. And we get the Book of Spirits. Now with this we can finally see what every monster is called when we attack them. So the copper plate is equipment for Jonathan, so that will make him a bit more bulkier, even though it would be nice to get something for Charlotte. The headgear is also just a Jonathan thing. There are a few things that are, shall we say, universal between the two characters that both of them can use. But we'll get into that when we actually find that. This is a warp room. Right now we only have one area to go to, but once we have another one, we can warp between this area and another area deeper in the castle. So this will cut down backtracking should we need it. So if we hit this button here, we open up this pathway right here. So we can see that there's a passage there, but we can't go through this. Even Charlotte, who is technically a bit shorter than Jonathan, can't squeeze in here. We do not have the ability to glide yet. So the only way we can go is through here, unless we want to, you know, go back to where we came. Something's here? It's not human. A monster? No, wait! I sense no evil from him. Ah, you can sense me. Who are you? A ghost, as you can see. Ghosts have no need for names. Impossible! Somehow he retained his consciousness after dying. It must be the castle's magic. I don't know about you, but it sure seems shady to me. Think what you will. It's your choice. However, can you truly destroy me with a whip you can't even use? So, just give me a second to turn off that alarm. You probably didn't hear it in the background, but it annoys me. Anyway. Only one way to find out! Wait, hold on! How do you know he can't use the vampire killer? Huh? I find it very odd to find a ghost not controlled by the power of Dracula's castle. A smart girl compared to this foolish boy. Just before I died, I cast a magic barrier on myself, binding my soul to this place. I am free from the castle's control, but I'm trapped here. But a paranormal entity like you can easily be affected by magic. Casting a barrier that repels the castle's power is impossible, even for me. Just who are you? My name is meaningless, but I suppose you need to call me something. Very well. Call me Wind. Mr. Wind? Just Wind is fine. Alright, Wind. What are you doing here? Didn't you hear him? He's trapped here, remember? I understand that, but if he truly has this much power, he could use other methods besides just binding his spirit here. My, you really are a bright little girl, aren't you? Stop treating me like a child. My name is Charlotte. Ah, I understand. And who is this boy? Who are you calling a boy? It's Jonathan. Jonathan Morris. The reason I'm here, simply put, is regret. I will not rest until the lord of the castle is vanquished. I thought I would lend assistance to those who wish to defeat him. But if you can't move from here, what do you intend to do? In spirit form, I'm able to grant items and techniques I once possessed in life. I think they'll be of great help to you. In that case, please help us. No, I've been able to do fine without any of his help so far. So why don't you just... Right, so far. But this is Dracula's castle. Even if you could use that whip, it won't help you when you die. Don't you remember your father? Enough about my father. Just leave this to me, okay? My father's dead. Forget him. Sorry, but still... No, wait. I'm sorry. Guess I got a little overdramatic there. You might be right, Charlotte. Wind, perhaps we could use your help. Would you help us? If you complete the tasks I give, only then will I help you. So our first quest from Wind, who has a bunch of side quests for us, is preparations. The priest should have some useful things for you in the next room. Get the potion and a map. Deal. Let's go, Charlotte. So last thing we're gonna do is check on this room right next to Wind's room, which is where we have Vincent, who has set up shop. Oh, well, welcome back. So you're selling your potions here? There aren't many now, but my stock will increase little by little. For a price, right? Yes, I'm afraid so, Master Jonathan. Don't try anything shifty, and don't try to lie. Still, it's true that rural churches are short on money, or so they say. Thank you. You're lifesavers. Anyway, please have a look. Vincent, like I said, is our shop system in this game. He sells potions, which restores 80 HP. He has tonics, which restore a little bit of MP. He has anti-venom, which cures us of poison. He has uncurse, which cures us of curses. He has the first part of the castle map. He has a blank book, which is one of the worst weapons for Charlotte. He has the knife, brass knuckles, a tailcoat, sunglasses, engineer boots, a studded choker, rebel ring, a master ring. The master ring is useful for mastering items, though. Forget-me-not, he sells shuriken, darts, rock riot. That's about it so far. But like you said, his inventory will increase as we go through the game. Just like Hammers did in Dawn of Sorrow, and technically also Aria of Sorrow. But by buying the first castle map, we can see that there is a lot that we couldn't get through with our current set of abilities. But with this, we also completed Wynn's task for us. So I'm gonna save here. And yeah, last thing we're gonna do is turn in this quest for Wind.
How are things?
So yeah, we completed the preparations. When you complete a quest, they will have this green marker. When you have accepted a quest, it is in yellow, and it will essentially remain like that until you complete it. Any quest you haven't grabbed will be blacked out, basically.
Excellent.
Well done, here, take this. We get the lizard's tail, so now we can slide through narrow passages by holding down and pressing the jump button. Now you should be able to advance deeper into the castle. If you complete the tasks I give you, I shall teach you even more, including magical skills. I may be able to entrust you with other items in the future as well. Sounds good to me. Oh, one more thing, regarding this castle's lord. You mean Dracula, right? I've read books about him. Dracula isn't this castle's lord. What do you mean? That's why they call this Dracula's castle. It is indeed Dracula's castle. However, the vampire's lord is a castle, yes. The castle's lord is a vampire by the name of Brunner. I've heard nothing about that. As one would expect, his identity has been kept secret for years after all. He infuses magic into paintings to increase his power. You will undoubtedly come across his paintings in his castle. Search for these paintings. He is using the paintings to make the castle's power his, isn't he? Still, he isn't Dracula after all, so we're safe for now. Be careful. His power grows stronger by the minute. No problem. We won't let you be tied down here for long. That's a promise. Trust us. Jonathan might seem unreliable, but he'd never break a promise. That's reassuring. Very well. Best of luck to you. Alright then, let's go find those paintings. And we will do that next time. So, when next we meet, we will use this slide ability to go even deeper into the castle. And we will search for Brunner's magical paintings. So, I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.